welcome to Craft with Sarah and day 5 of the Halloween Craft Countdown, where I'm sharing 20 Halloween-themed Cricut projects in 20 days. 10 of the projects are designed by me, and 10 are guest designer projects from some of my crafting friends. Today, it's another one of my projects, and it's these cute little monster treat boxes. There are 3 different designs to choose from, and they all look wonderful displayed together. They would make excellent gifts for trick-or-treaters. The files for this project are free for the next 24 hours. Here's how to download them. Register a free ticket for the Halloween Craft Countdown at craftwithsarah.com/HCC23. If you're already registered, check for an email from me with subject line Halloween Craft Countdown ticket information, or any of the other emails from me that you've been sent throughout the countdown. Can't find them? Check your junk or spam box to see if they've gone there by mistake. These emails contain the link to view the countdown projects and download today's files. Scroll down this page to find today's project. Click the button to start the files automatically downloading to your computer or mobile device. Each download is only available for free for 24 hours after it goes live. If you've missed some, check out the Instant Access Bundle at craftwithsarah.com/HCC23 bundle, which gives immediate and ongoing access to all of the files from the Halloween Craft Countdown, plus loads of extra bonus designs. All downloads come in zip folders. You will need to unzip them before you can upload the files into Cricut Design Space. Once you've downloaded and unzipped the folder, it's time to get the SVG file into Cricut Design Space. Open up Design Space and start a new project, and then click Upload over on the left. I've already put in the rectangular monster box, so I'll show you how to do it for the square. Click on Upload Image, and then you can either click Browse to find the file on your computer, or drag and drop it in. Make sure you choose the unzipped version of the folder, and within there you've got the rectangle monster and the square monster. So let's look in the square monster, and then there are 3 different file types in here. For Cricut Design Space, you want the one which starts SVG in the file name. I'll click and drag that in, and this is what it looks like. Press Upload. And now it's in my recent uploads. And I don't know where the rectangular one has gone. Design Space is being a bit funny today and it's hiding things after I upload them. So if yours is having the same little issue, click on View All, and then you'll be able to see all the uploads in there. For now though, I'm just going to show you on the square box. So let's add that to Canvas and give it a view. And here it is. It should load in at a good size to make your treat boxes, but you can resize it if you want to by clicking on the design. Make sure this padlock icon is closed. If it's open, you can click the padlock to close it, and then you can resize either the width or the height. Press Enter on your keyboard, and the other measurement will change in proportion. But I'm going to stick to doing mine at the size it's loaded in. You can see all of the pieces down the right hand side here that make up the little monster face. And within there, you've then got the box itself, which is here. We need to format the score lines on this box. So the first thing I'm going to do is scroll to the very top and click on the first little bit in the layers panel, which is where it's got the full picture here on the left and the arrow here. So this is our group name. Hover over this button here, you see it says Ungroup. Click that to separate out the layers. Then scroll back down until you find the group inside, which contains the box. Click on the first layer inside there, which looks like a load of lines. We need to change these to score lines. If you don't have a scoring stylus or wheel for your Cricut machine, then you can delete this layer by clicking the little trash can icon here. But if you do have either of those tools, I highly recommend using them to score these lines. It will mean the box is much easier for you to make. So I've got this one layer selected. You see it's only this one bit that's green. And then in the operations drop down up here, change it to score. And you can now see that the lines have turned dashed, which indicates they're now set to score. We've also got this cut line, which looks like the letter U, and this is how it's going to make it a little bit easier to open the box once it's shut. At the moment, if I was to try and make this now, the Cricut's going to do the score lines on a completely different bit of card to my purple. We need to tell it that we want the score lines to appear on the same purple bit of card. To do that, click the group of the box. So in the layers panel, it's just this little group that's got 3 bits inside it, our score lines, the cut line that looks like the letter U, and the main box. With that selected and nothing else, press Attach down at the bottom of the layers panel. And it will shift the layout a bit because Attach makes things appear at the top of the layers. So we can go Arrange, Center Back to put it right at the bottom again. Now you'll notice you've got a white square appearing on top. This square is designed to be cut from acetate, plastic, white, clear, see-through, something like that. Vellum or acetate or just something that's got a little bit of see-through on it that you'll stick behind the gap in the mouth. And that will mean that you can see all of the sweets inside the box, but they'll stay nice and secure. I'm going to be using clear acetate. And that's why when you go to cut this out, you'll notice that this square cuts on a different mat to the eyes and the teeth. And that's done by design because the eyes and the teeth should be white cardstock. Or if it's a monster, you could probably get away with yellow teeth or something, but it's designed to be white. And then this square here is going to be acetate. And that's why when you click Make It, I'll just show you, we've got the square on one bit of card and all of those details on another. So just bear in mind when you're cutting it out that the white square is supposed to be cut from acetate. When you go to cut the acetate, depending on the thickness, there are a couple of different settings you can do. I know there is an acetate setting in Cricut, but I have never found that actually cuts through my acetate. So I tend to do it either on the heavy cardstock setting or the craft board setting. And that tends to cut through my acetate much better than actually using the acetate defined one, which I find never cuts through. So that's just a couple of tips for you if you're also struggling to work out what setting to cut your acetate on. But there's nothing else we need to do to the box. It's all ready to cut out now. So you can just go through and set all of your paper size, move things about if you want to. And this is a great project for using up some of those card scraps because you don't need a lot of all the colours. When you're happy with how all your sheets are looking, press Continue to connect to your Cricut machine, follow the on-screen instructions and get everything cut out from your cardstock and that one little bit of acetate, and then we'll see how to stick together the monster treat boxes. And if you're making the rectangular box instead, it's exactly the same process. So what you do is look down in the layers panel to find the line, change that to a score line and group it all together, attach it even, trying to forget my words now, attach it together just like we did with this one. So you can follow the same steps for both of the monster treat boxes. Here's my outline of my treat box, and this is for the monster face with all of the eyes on it. You can see I've already made my other two. I put some Skittles in this one and some mints in this one. And for my final box, I've got some M&Ms to go in here. It's a nice little mixture of treats. All right, first I'm going to turn it upside down and then fold upwards along all of the score lines. So I'm just folding them all in towards me. This one's a bit tricky, this score line, because it's very close to the mouth. Not quite wanting to score where it should. To fold even where it should. I didn't have this problem on the other two because the mouths are a little bit further away. There we go. Just be careful when doing that one. We've also got the score lines in the middle. Just go along those two. Alright. It's looking a little bit messy now, but that's okay. It'll be much easier to stick it together now that we've started off those score lines. Next, I'm going to add my acetate over the mouth with some glue. And you want quite a bit of glue to make sure it's going to stick all the way around, and then make sure you go all the way around the edges. This one's tricky, again, because that bottom of the mouth is so close to the score line. But if you don't add any glue around that bottom bit, then your treats might fall out. So do try and get some glue in there. I'm going to make the front of the treat box first, and how the basic premise of this works is we'll be folding out these two little tabs, and they'll be going kind of into the sides like this to hold the sides in place. The sides will then fold over those tabs to keep it all really secure, and then these tabs on the edge here will do the same thing but for the front of the box. And don't worry if that didn't make much sense, I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm using double-sided tape. I prefer that for box making because glue I find can get a bit tricky if it takes a while to dry. Your sides might start, coming apart from each other before the glue is dry, whereas a double-sided tape, it's stuck straight away. So first I'm going to put my glue down these little sides. Just double checking, I want it on there too. Yes, I do. There we go. And then I'm going to fold these tabs in, so the tabs that are in this middle section, and put some tape just on the outside bits here. Try not to overlap any. Only needs a little bit, like that. And then we'll fold it inwards, and these triangles are going to stick to this side. So we have got tape on tape, but I did find it sticks better with a little bit of tape on those tabs. So this side needs to go up, so it's straight up, and then the tab comes in. It's really hard to do on camera. It's quite easy to stick together, but difficult to show. Go. So that's stuck in. Can you see? Hopefully you can see, like that. And then I'm going to fold this bit over to seal it all in there. And now I've got one of the sides of my box. So do the same on the other one. I've stuck that tab down first on here, and then fold this bit over to make the side. There we go. See where it's going. We're now going to do the similar thing here, only this time these tabs are going to go on that front section. Don't put any glue on the middle bit, this oval bit in here. Don't add any adhesive there because that's going to be used to thread into the back to help seal the box. If you look on this one, you see that's how that one works. It just keeps it nice and snug. So the tape's only going to go on the edge bits. And a little bit on my triangles. Okay. Fold them in. Stick that side up. And do them both at the same time this time. There we go. Make sure the middle bit doesn't get stuck. And then fold these bits over. And that's half our box all done. Okay, now for this side, we're doing a very similar thing. These little tab bits here, we're going to fold up and secure this. So I just need my glue down there. I say glue, it's tape. Down there. And then both sides on this bottom bit. So above and below that score line. And then a little bit on those triangles. Like that. Okay. So one side in. Stick that. And then the other side, little triangle going in. And now we can just fold down all of the top bits. There. And that's our box. So it will close nicely up. You might need to squidge it around a bit the first time you close it. But there it goes, and then you've got your little tab, which will go in there to hold it shut. Okay. I'm going to add my sweets in now, I think, but you could do all the decorating first too. I've put quite a lot in here. But even so, you could probably fill 3 of these with 1 bag of sweets. If you make them a bit smaller, then obviously you can use less sweets because the boxes won't take as many. Close that up. There we are. It just looks so cool with the sweets in the mouth of the monster. Let's add these 2 in as well. And now we can decorate the front. I'm going to bring my glue back and get all of these decorations done. So I'm trying to remember what it looks like because I don't have my computer screen in front of me. But I'm pretty sure these ones hang off the top. A little bit of hair. Got all of these eyes. And then 4 teeth, which I was really hoping I didn't lose along the way, but I seem to still be able to find them, which is good. Finding white bits of paper on a white table is tricky. I cannot remember which way around these go. Tiny bit of glue because we don't want it to smush out onto the acetate. Never mind, it's a monster. He's allowed to have wonky teeth. Just want the glue on the bottom of this horn so that it'll overlap. The eyes is made up with lots of little pieces, so we need to make sure we get these all. And now we have it, slightly stranger teeth than anticipated, but my 3 little candy monster treat boxes for Halloween are all finished. I hope you enjoyed this video on how to make these Halloween monster treat boxes. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel for loads more Cricut crafts and Halloween fun. I hope to see you tomorrow for day 6 of the Halloween craft countdown. But don't forget, the link to get these cut files for this project is craftforSarah.com patreon.com/hcc23, but they're only free to download for 24 hours after this video goes live. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!